Good afternoon, everybody. I'll just start by telling everybody that I'm totally out of my comfort zone standing up here, so feel free to laugh at me. I will do my very best. My name is Miranda Lysell. I'm the Secretary of the Swedish Hereford Association. So we'll just give you a short presentation. So just to clarify where Sweden is and not mix us up with Switzerland like me and my friend just did then. You see where we are? Right next to Norway and Denmark and Finland. So cattle breeds in Sweden. At the moment, 190,000 suckler cows approximately, 350,000 dairy cows. And Hereford are at the moment the largest beef breed in numbers. We're having at the moment more registrations than the Charolais for the first year ever, so we're very happy about that. And we hope that that will continue throughout the year. The other main breeds, as I said, Charolais, Simmentals, Limousin. Angus aren't many, but they're on the way up. The effect of the black baldy is getting more and more popular even in Sweden. We have a few blonde Aquitaines. And then we have a few rarer breeds that are very few in number. Highland cattle, Wagyu, which is a relatively new breed in Sweden and gaining in interest. Belted Galloway, Chianina, and Dexters. Dairy cattle are, like I think in many parts of the world, decreasing in numbers. Suckler cows are increasing in numbers. Many dairy farmers in Sweden are selling their dairy cattle and buying beef cattle, or crossing their dairy cows with beef breeds, and Hereford is a very popular sire to use. The demand for Herefords is growing each year. Our breeders cannot supply enough females to supply the people that want to buy them and start with Herefords. And it's the same with bulls. Our main breeders can hardly produce enough bull calves to meet the demand. And as I said before, Angus is gaining popularity, especially in crossbreeding. In Sweden, we have a lot of rain. I've lived in Sweden for 20 years. I'm originally from England, and I see the effect of global warming. When I first moved to Sweden, it was very, very cold in the winter with a lot of snow, but it's getting more stormy and there's more rain. And the animal welfare says you have to have houses, which is, it makes our costs very high to produce beef in Sweden. We don't use antibiotics unless the cows are ill. We don't allow them in prevention. The animal has to be ill in order to use antibiotics. We're not allowed to use hormones to promote growth. Anesthetic must be used for all operations like castration, dehorning, etc. And stunning used in slaughter. There is no exception for religion. Animal welfare goes first. The association then, the number of members has been very stable the last 4 years. I'm talking the last 4 years since we had the last conference. About 300. Some people will finish because of different reasons, and a lot of new members, we're getting a lot of new members that are starting with Herefords. The number of herds in the official control program, and when I mean the official control program, I mean that weigh birth weights, weanling weights, and yearling weights, are approximately 45 to 50. Sweden, I have to say, is 3 times the size of Britain, with approximately 9 million people living there. So I think they're not bad numbers considering the amount of people that live in Sweden. Breeders must be in the official health programs for paratuberculosis, BVD, and take tests for salmonella in order to be part in the performance testing station and take part at shows. Minimum adjusted weights for registering the cattle are 220 kilos for the weaning weight for heifers. And I have to emphasize, these are the absolute minimum. I don't think anyone would like a heifer to weigh that little, but the minimum requirements are 220 kilos for heifers at weaning and bulls 260. And the average in 2015 for heifers was 252 kilos and bulls 275. The yearling weights, the heifers have to weigh 320 kilos and the bulls must weigh 460 in order to register them. The average in 2015, the heifers weighed 392 kilos and the bulls 489 kilos. New in Sweden since the last WHC, I think we're all pretty familiar with different countries and what's been happening before, but this is new in Sweden since we've had the last World Hereford Conference. We've just begun in-herd linear scoring, which I think is a huge breakthrough for us, where they come out and they score your cows, which is really, it's going to be a real good help for the less experienced breeders to pick out which animals will be good breeding stock. We've begun testing for hypotrichosis and for the pole gene through Geosan in Denmark. Some of us do actually send over to Canada to have the DNA testing done, but to get for the pole gene, we send it to GenoScan. All our AI bulls have been tested for hypotrichosis and are free. It's something we're starting to take very seriously. The slaughter companies have begun scoring and paying premiums for marbled beef, which is also a huge breakthrough and something that I'm really very happy for. At the testing station, they are scanning for marbling, carcass fat, depth of ribeye, and these values are put into the catalogue. We do hope in the future that these traits will even come into the breeding values. The performance testing is very, very popular in Sweden. Approximately 30 Hereford bulls and 180 beef breed bulls in total are tested annually, beginning in August at weaning and ending at the beginning of March, with an auction of approved bulls the last Friday in March every year. The owner of the bulls pays for the test approximately $2,400. Bulls are weighed every 2 weeks and they are checked regularly by the vet. The bulls must all meet the requirements to be approved and sold at the auction. They must have a higher than average daily gain. We say T, performance test total 100 and upwards. They must meet a minimum linear score requirement, and they must meet the minimum scrotal circumference, hoof health requirement, and must also pass the vet inspection.
Sorry, 1 minute, please. 1 minute more.
I'll try and do my best to hurry up. Approximately 17 to 20 bulls are approved annually. Viking Genetics buy 1 or 2 of the approved bulls each year, depending on the demand for semen. The average price has continued to incline over the 6 new years, with records being set. On the picture, you will see the record-selling bull in Sweden, which we actually bought ourselves. And here are 2 of the latest AI bulls that have been bought. I have a folder, I don't have many left, but I have a brochure in both Swedish and English with me of all our AI bulls. And these are the 2 the year before. Just going on quickly, shows held since the last WHC. We've had 7 shows in total, 2 shows annually. When both shows are the same year, Elmi is the main one. There have been diminishing numbers at the smaller show, but stable of numbers at the main national show. Hereford Heifers have been the winner of the Interbreed Championship 4 rows in a row, which is quite amazing. And here are some pictures of the ones as you see, Mila 2014 and the Main National Show 2013. And also again in 2015. Thank you for listening.